Hey everybody, stick around because in today's video, we're going to look at a product that's going to make you hot. Well, parts of you at least. Thanks for clicking on this video. We've got a little bit of cold and wet weather coming in right now, and as the last bit of the winter weather sticks around, we're going to explore a product to kind of help you warm up a little bit on those cold nights. The product I'm talking about is the Ocoopa USB rechargeable hand warmer. Now this retails for about $40 on Amazon, but in full disclosure, I got this at my local bin store for $5. Now, if you don't know what a bin store is, I'm going to put a link down below to my video just about my camping gear haul from my local bin stores. Go and check that out if you don't understand what I'm talking about, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time here explaining how that concept works. But let's dive into exploring this product. So as you can see, the Ocoopa hand warmer is about the size of the palm of your hand. One of the advantages to a product like this is that traditional hand warmers have meant that you had to keep some kind of an open flame or ember in your pocket. Or you can use one of the chemical ones, which means that you got to throw that thing away once you're done with it. And that means that you've got chemical waste out there. This is a rechargeable product that recharges through one of 2 USB ports and claims to provide at least 6 hours of heat. This particular one has the orange body on it. They do make it in a few different colors. Not that color is really a factor when it comes to something like this, but this is the orange version of it. It comes with a small velveteen bag and a USB cable. Before we explore too much into the heat, also know this has a USB recharging port on it and can be used as a power pack. So if you need to recharge your iPhone or your GoPro, you can charge it with this device. It has a singular button on the front. The way that you turn this device on is you hold down the button for 5 seconds. That turns it on, and it comes on the lowest setting. In order to adjust it up to the higher settings, you hit it one more time for medium and another time for high. According to the product specifications, it takes 20 seconds to come up to temperature. Now that's pretty quick, especially if you're in a position where you're really starting to get cold and you need to warm up quickly. I can feel it getting warm, and there it is. You got something nice and warm to start warming up your hands. Now on the medium setting, it gets considerably warmer. But I will say this, I tested this on low, medium, and high settings, and I didn't really notice a lot of difference in temperature between the medium setting and the high setting. On the medium setting, I got almost 8 hours of heat out of this little device from a single charge. Then to bump it up to the high setting, you click it one more time. And on the high setting, I got right at 7.5 hours on a single charge. Now to charge this thing all the way up, it took me right at about 2.5 to 3 hours. I can't say exactly how long because I had it sitting on the charger and I would just check on it occasionally. And at about the 3-hour mark is when I noticed that it was no longer charging and it had turned off. I will say that on the high setting, this gets so hot that you almost can't hold it in your bare hand. But then it occurred to me that chances are, if you're in a position where you really need your hands warmed up that much, you're probably gonna have a pair of gloves on. And so putting this in between a pair of gloved hands, you're going to get just about the right amount of heat to warm you up. So going beyond just the typical hand warming functions of this thing, there's a couple of uses that you may not think about when you're looking at buying something like this. One of them being, if you're in a situation where you are actually fearing that you might freeze to death, let's say that you're stuck out in the cold and that hypothermia is starting to set in, you can take this, you can set it up against the center of your core, maybe right around your heart. You can tuck it into the neck of your jacket against your carotid artery, and it's going to add heat to the blood that's flowing through there. It may not make you warm, but it could save your life. Also, if you have something like an arthritic knee, or if you have a prior injury that aches every once in a while, using this as a heat source to place up against that may buy you a little bit of extra comfort. But my suggestion would be to take something like this and either put it in an inside pocket to add just some general warmth, or if you're camping in the cold and you have an issue with your feet getting cold in your sleeping bag, turning this thing on high, tossing it down into the foot of your sleeping bag. With as long as this thing stayed running for me, I kind of feel like you could sleep through the night and have nice and toasty warm toes the next morning. So I imagine there's going to be a couple of questions that are going to be thrown out. One of them probably, well, isn't there a possibility that could explode? Absolutely. Anytime you're working with a device like this, there's always the potential for an explosive malfunction. Be careful with this product. If it starts to feel like it's getting way too hot, turn it off or just get away from it. Somebody's going to ask, well, how does it work? Science. we'll go with that. My understanding is it's some kind of a magnetic resistance on the inside of it that creates the heat out of the battery. But beyond that, I don't really understand exactly what makes this thing tick. Now, I did a review one time before on a product that I bought at a bargain hunt store. And given that this is a bin store find, I'm going to have probably the same question presented about it. And a viewer asked, if you had bought it for full price, would you still recommend that item? And in that case, yes, I did find that that product performed well enough that if I had paid full price, I would have been happy. This thing's getting hot in my hand. I'm gonna have to shuffle it around. I'm gonna turn this thing off real quick. In fact, in this case, would I be happy if I paid $40 for this product and it performed the way that it does? And I say yes, I probably would. Now, I am not a cold-natured person. I'm a very hot-natured person. So this is not something that I would use a lot. But in instances where I'm on a camping trip where it's very cold, or I'm at a family outing and we're outside in cool weather, yeah, this would be great. But for somebody like my wife who is perpetually cold, this would be an awesome product. So if you have those kind of issues, this would be a good one for you. If you have another question about this, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments down below. I may not be able to answer it right away, but I'll see what I can find out and I'll do my best. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's a great way to help this channel keep growing. Also, if you really want to help us out, I'll have a link in the description box down below about an Amazon wish list that you can go and send us an item from, and we can either use it to add to our adventures or as a review for the channel. I actually had this very product on my Amazon wish list for a while, but it's been taken off ever since I found this at the bin store. So that's it for the review of the Ocoopa USB rechargeable hand warmer, and I hope that this video was useful in your search. So until the next time, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed, and we'll see you around.